the beef? That back in the 90s.
Yeah. Remember the grannies? Remember the
Those were
three
great
old
commercials. Those old,
Yeah.
They don't
It was
make
Wendy's,
commercials
right?
like they used to. Like if you watch
that
old
Wendy's?
commercials, they're so good.
I think it was Wendy's, right? I think it was Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just three old ladies, and they're sitting there, and one, like, you know, they're eating non-Wendy's burgers. I don't know. I can't remember if they were like modeled after, like, if it was clear looking at it that it was like, oh, there's a McDonald's burger. Like, they're not saying it, but look at it. And then just this little old lady on the end. She's like, "Where's the beef?"
I wonder. Good. Oh man. So I'm saying, like, they don't make commercials like they used to, but I don't watch commercials like I used to either. Like, the commercials I see nowadays are like at the beginning of a YouTube ad and I skip it. Yeah. Or in the YouTube ad because it's a paid YouTube advertisement that the YouTuber's promoting. And I'm just like, as soon as they start ranting about it, I'm just like, skip 10 seconds, skip 10 seconds. Okay, now he's back to talking about what I want to listen to. So I don't hear that either.
It was fun because Brianne and I just recently rewatched WandaVision. And in each episode, they have a commercial break from each era. And some of the eras obviously predate me, right? Like the 50s and 60s. I'm like, sure, I guess that's what trailer or commercials were like. But the one that really sticks out to me is the one that's supposed to be like a 90s one. Yeah. And it's a 90s yogurt drink commercial. And it's this like claymation, crudely done claymation kid on an island who's like starving and needs the yogurt drink, right? And it's just like, and I'm watching it, I'm like, yes, like this is so spot on. I'm like, these weird claymation things, right? And the Gushers commercials where all of a sudden the kids would have like their lives were ruined because they just had like, now you have a blueberry for a head. Like it was just, or a watermelon shaped head. And then the yogurt tube commercials where like, and that was ahead of its time because essentially what they were saying was like, drink tubes or eat tubes and you'll end up with permanent auto-tune voice. Remember? Because they had these like really, It was really, Well, hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
Man, trying to mimic auto-tune if you're not auto-tuning is hard.
You have to be able to instantly jump between octaves on key.
No, that doesn't even sound like if you like jiggle your throat with your finger, it doesn't even make it sound like that.
No, it's the sudden and random jumps between octaves that you have to like you're just moving up a note. Yeah. We're back with some more news. It's another week and it's like I feel giddy right now because it is the second week in a row that you're here.
Yeah.
This is like it's back. It's back to normal.
Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah. So good. And before we jump into the news, Carl has something that he would like to tell us about from the world of technology. This is something Carl started doing last week. Sort of, he didn't spring it on me. He brought it up in a message. He messaged me like a month ago. And he was like, hey, I have this idea. And I was like, cool. Like, I welcome all your ideas because then it feels like you are actually invested and want to do this. And especially because your 1 year commitment is like pretty much up.
I'm trapped in a room.
And so because your 1 year commitment is pretty much up, anything that you're like, hey, I have this great idea. I'm like, yes, stay invested. Don't leave. And so anyways, Carl thought, hey, why don't we start each news episode with me telling you about one of the random technology articles or advertisements or what be it that seem to pop up on my news feed. And some might look at that and go, well, yeah, but you're not a technology show. So what are you doing? And I would retort and say, excuse me, we are recording this show with technology. You're consuming it via technology, and technology ruins, I meant to say runs our lives, but also ruins our lives.
Yeah. And also, like, majority of what we talk about is, like, nerdy, geeky, sci-fi, comic book crap.
a lot of our...
And that's where a lot, like, the ideas... like a lot of the stuff that these articles that I read and I find interesting either kind of stem from that world, like the scientists are drawing inspiration from that world to kind of figure out how to do something, or those worlds have drawn inspiration from the research and scientists and stuff.
Right. So last week we learned about what to do when there's nothing left you can do.
When you did.
When you did. How
more dead options.
Yeah, when it was a little creepy. It was kind of like it sort of sounded like waterboarding a dead guy, but
more like boiling a dead guy.
Making dead guy soup.
Dead guy soup.
Yeah, you really want to reduce your uncle down to a thick broth.
Something you can pour down the drain.
Jeez. Jeez. Okay, so
this week,
what potentially slightly less morbid talk?
This week we'll talk about the Force.
The Force. All right, hit me.
When you think about if you had the Force, what are like simple everyday uses for the Force that you would use?
Okay, so I'm going to correct you right now because we all have the Force. Some of us are not able to use it. Right?
It binds us. It's every living being.
All of the living beings have this. So what if I was super tapped into my midichlorians?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Sure. That's right. I said the M word.
You dick.
Simple uses for the Force. I mean, my mind goes two ways with this. I mean, there's simple things like the remote, right? Like instead of like it just being lazy. Lazy is the number one.
Pushing and pulling things, yeah.
As a kid, there was many times where like if I was being bullied or like dealing with some dick at school, I was like, dude, I wouldn't not even like force choke. We're not gonna get that violent. But if I was like, dude, if I could just like demonstrate power in front of you. Not even like aggressively, but if I could just like, you're coming at me or you're saying all these things or whatever, if I could like wave my hand and slam this desk up against the wall, oh boy, like you'd back down in a heartbeat. And so I think, I don't know, it's super shallow and super like egotistical.
Right.
But I would say that like for the most part, I would probably use it to impress. I would probably use it as like a attention grabbing, hey, look at me. Oh yeah, I would be the world's best traveling magician. Like there's no
watch me float this object.
Yeah. Look, there's no
try
strings.
And figure that one out, Penn and Teller.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's probably my answer is I would mostly use it. I would also use it for laziness. Like I'd be fat as hell. Yeah. But mostly to show off.
Right. So the big takeaway here is you'd use like the telekinetic part of the Force.
Yeah.
What if I were to tell you there's a research team in China developing a Force gun that can move things from a distance?
Does it use ultrasonic sound frequencies? Is it using sound?
Okay. So it again, so this is the like I find all this stuff fascinating, but I don't understand half the science of it. Mm-hmm. So I'll just read this section of the art. So according to the researchers reporting, their Force gun device works and has a surprising range of up to 0.6 miles or 1 kilometer.
Holy
Moreover,
crap.
It can move distant objects within minutes of activation. It's also capable of pulling small objects.
Yeah. There goes my sound theory.
Yeah. So the article doesn't really go into the how, but it seems to be using some kind of magnetic forces to move things.
That seems dangerous, though, because what happens to all
there's
the
even
stuff
like a
in its
really
path?
cool diagram from in this article. It uses plasma rings containing charging particles, ions, and electrons. Response to an electric and magnetic fields. Yeah, so essentially it's some kind of magnetic force to move objects. So the real kind of use, what they're researching this for, is for like to put this force gun in orbit to manipulate satellites.
Okay,
to
move
push them back into
on.
their proper orbit or pull them back into proper orbit so that they're still working or whatever. And the article even asks the question, like, can it be weaponized? And then there's just like a quick paragraph blurb that says the research they're doing is focused at the potential applications of space exploration and satellite operations rather than a military use. But you just know there's some wing of this research team that's going like, how do I disrupt military operations?
Oh yeah, because
these foreign states.
Yeah, because I just found the article, and it goes on to say, but ultimately, if armed forces see a potential offensive or defensive use for it, you can bet your bottom dollar they will.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're driving that tank towards us? Guess again, sucker.
We're going to turn it around. Oh, or this missile's being fired at us. We'll just suck it up
just
in
redirect
orbit
it.
or redirect it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy, like a force gun.
Yeah, man. See, it's just, I love technology. I love all this cool, like, crazy futuristic advances and stuff that we're doing and so on and so forth. But then also there's just like,
it's scary.
There's some stuff where you're like, but like, it's the world may just be better if you don't, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
you know what this is more the equivalent of instead of the force? It's more like a tractor beam.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Which then
and
we're
a
going to get into...
kilometer away, like, that's not big enough for a satellite to do anything to anything on the ground. But yeah, it's definitely useful for what they're reaching it.
No, but I mean, then as they advance the technology, we're going to be probing enemy troops.
Go further. Yeah.
You know, that's the natural progression. So
yeah.
Okay, so,
that's tech and science in the world.
that's unsettling.
Yeah, you need to. This segment.
Yeah. I was just, you need to, Carl's crazy.
We'll just call it. We were talking before we recorded. Let's just call it in other news.
In other news, work on that.
Maybe in the real world news.
Maybe spitball that a little.
In world news.
Okay. All right. So moving into
tell us what we should call it. Maybe I don't want to think.
I don't. Yeah. Let us know. So listen, I don't know if you've heard, but there are some strikes going on in Hollywood.
Yeah, baseball, full swing. Pete's sure up to date with that, but I'm not. So you're talking to the wrong guy.
No, everyone's on strike. Just about. It seems.
Well, there's only 3 strikes in baseball, so everyone can't have a strike.
Shut up. Do you need to take 5 and come back, or like what are we?
No, I'm good. All right, yeah. Yes. Okay. Hollywood's on strike.
So it started out with the writers being on strike. And when the writers were on strike, it certainly threw a wrench in some gears. But ultimately, Hollywood hadn't come to a grinding halt because stuff that was already written...
Yeah. Actors were still acting.
We could go film. Let's do it. But as soon as the actors went on strike... I mean, that's your bread and butter. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Capture some B-roll, get an establishing shot of the outside of the building. Like, there's nothing really that you can do when you don't have actors working.
I wonder, like, so Are cameramen part of that actors? I guess they wouldn't be part of the Actors Guild. They'd probably have
but if you don't have anyone to put on camera,
yeah. You know what's not on strike? There are some like. Have you ever watched any of Critical Role?
No.
It's a bunch of. This is the way they pitch it: a bunch of nerdy ass voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. They've got like they've got hundreds of episodes over. They're in their third season now, plus a bunch of side stories that they've done. They're just pretty much playing D&D and D&D like role playing games. They're part of all those nerdy ass voice actors are part of the guild, the acting guild. But they can still record those episodes, post them, and gain monetary value from them.
Yes, because
there's some kind of loophole there. Because
because they're not. Because they're not productions that are associated to a production company that is a part of the, whatever it is, right? And so,
I think it's more to do with that. It's not like a written, like they're just ad-libbing and playing a game. I think it's got more to do with that.
I think it's probably both though, because there is an exemption for certain, because there's a couple of indie studios out there that are still able to do stuff and
that makes
hire
sense.
actors privately, but most actors are not doing that because it's sort of that solidarity thing.
Because the last strike we got actually a really cool little mini series. Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog was something like that. Okay. Did you ever see that?
No.
It had How I Met Your Mother star. You're gonna have to help me with names.
Neil Patrick Harris.
He's the womanizer guy.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris was Dr. Horrible, and then his arch nemesis, Dr. Hammer, was oh man, why I suck with names so bad. Firefly.
Nathan Fillion,
yeah. Was I'm so bad with names. Like I can see their faces plain as day.
Yeah.
And I know who they are. Just in the moment that the name is gone. But yeah, so that would make sense too.
Anyways, the news topic.
Back on track.
So as a result of these strikes, stuff has been getting delayed, like left, right, and center. And the newest batch of sort of bigger ticket productions, bigger ticket shows that have been delayed come to us from Marvel. And Marvel's Disney Plus series. What's the plural of series?
Series?
Right, yeah. So anyways, we're going to run through them real quick here. First up, we have a show that I don't know anyone who's actually...
I don't care.
...excited for. It's Echo. And I think Echo's a cool character. I just think that they did such a piss poor job of introducing her and creating any sort of interest or hype or whatever when they introduced her in Hawkeye, that I think it's not great. So Echo was originally set to premiere on November 19th or 29th. But a while ago, it was pushed back to January 2024. They give it a little nudge. Now we don't know. Don't know when it's coming.
Oh, well.
Next up, we have What If Season 2, which was originally supposed to come out like any time now.
Yeah.
And it's been pushed back. Not super far. Looks like it's going to come out Christmas time.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder if they're just pushing this one back to make like if they released it on time, then the stuff that's not finished being made, that window will feel bigger so they're kind of narrowing that window by pushing this date back, I wonder.
So yes and no. So interestingly, Dune 2 just got delayed. Dune 2 just got pushed. Mm-hmm. And Dune 2 was supposed to come out in December. And make no mistake, Dune 2 is finished. It's completed. It's in the can. It's ready to go. And so why, you might ask, would they delay something that doesn't need to be delayed? And there's a very good reason.
Money.
And that reason is that currently, do you want to, if you're a production company, the production company behind Dune 2, follow up to a massively successful film, do you want to stick with your original release date or bump it forward a couple of months to when you predict the actor strike will be over and your actors will actually be able to do late night talk show circuits, press, get out there and start talking about this film. Push the film. Because that's the thing. It's not just like the actors strike. The actors aren't working. It's not just that they're not acting. They're not working.
They're not promoting.
They can't promote. They're not doing red carpets. They're not doing, like, they all walked, because the strike hit during the red carpet premiere of Oppenheimer. And all of the actors, did whatever, took a couple pictures, and the minute the news came through that, yes, in fact, we're now on strike, they all walked. They left. Nobody stayed for the movie. The actors didn't stay for the movie. Everyone left because they're not working anymore.
They've seen it.
They've seen it. Well, maybe. Sometimes they haven't. But, yeah. So what if season 2 has been pushed back? X-Men 97. Which is a sort of revitalization, reboot of the old animated X-Men cartoon. This is something that I imagine you're far more interested in than I am. Yeah. It's now been pushed back to early 2024 with no specific release date attached to it.
Face.
Which means it may not be early 2024. That's sort of one of those, that's one of those delays that, although it doesn't say it in this article, has the word indefinitely attached to it. Has been pushed back. We don't know when.
Well, it doesn't say, this article doesn't say it indefinitely. It just says without a
no, but that's what it means. It says, hey, we're not releasing it when we thought we were going to, and we don't have a date for you. That's the gist of this, and that is it's been postponed indefinitely until further notice. Not like, hey, it's going to come out next week instead of this week. It's, we still plan on doing it.
Indefinitely makes it sound more like it's never going to come out.
No, that's shelved permanently. that's permanent, not indefinite. But anyways, Ironheart. A show that I'm actually looking forward to. I know there's not a lot of buzz about Ironheart, but I'm really looking forward to Ironheart because I thought Riri Williams was fantastic in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And, it's a lot of people are going to say, well, it's just a spoof on Iron Man and blah, blah, blah. Well, sure, it could be done that way for sure.
It's a bad legacy character.
But that's
in the Black Panther film anyway.
Anyway, so I'm excited for that one. We have it's been delayed indefinitely. We don't have a release date for it now. One that I'm very much looking forward to, Agatha, the Darkhold Diaries. A show that originally was called, for the longest time, it was Agatha, House of Harkness. But they've changed the name, and I like the name change, to Agatha Darkhold Diaries. And, yeah, we don't know. We don't know now. We have no idea when it's coming. This is one that's going to hurt you.
This is the saddest one on the list.
Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
It is now likely that it will not premiere until 2025.
Sucks.
Likely 2025. But we don't have a date. It's just kind of, hey, it's not going to happen when we said it was. We'll let you know. And then Wonder Man, a show that I think most people don't even realize is coming.
Yeah. Who did they got pinned for Wonder Man?
I don't know.
Because it was like, technically, Nathan Fillion is already Wonder Man in the MCU.
Yes.
For those that don't know, he appeared in, it was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I believe. There was like a flash scene on Earth, or a flash, it was a quick scene where Ego's taking over the planet, and there's with his essence, I guess we'll call it.
So it looks like,
and there's a poster on a wall somewhere promoting the Wonder Man, a Wonder Man movie, like, because Wonder Man is like a movie star, a Hollywood's kind of actor or whatever, as in the comics.
So it looks like Wonder Man is being played by Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Boo.
Who, for those of you who don't know, was Morpheus in the Matrix Resurrections movie. He was the new face of Morpheus. He also, a lot of people, specifically Carl, are saying boo. He crushed it as Manta in the first Aquaman movie.
I don't care.
Okay.
Give me Nathan Fillion.
I think he's going to do well, but Nathan Fillion is now, like, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
So?
In a big role.
I don't care.
Yeah. That's not okay. And that's why you're not employed in Hollywood. And so anyways, a lot of things have been canceled and postponed. It's sad. And it's just kind of like, it feels strangely like everything's just on hold right now. Right? And we've still got stuff that's coming out right now because it was shot and the release date and everything and press was done forever ago. But I think we're on the precipice of like a real dry spell in the theaters and on our streaming services where it's going to be like, hey, sorry, like, yeah, we're now just getting caught up with the several months in which Hollywood was closed. Sucks.
Yeah. The drought will continue.
Yeah.
The upcoming drought.
until they reach some sort of a freaking goal here. Okay. Moving on. Taylor Swift. Now you got to be careful what you say about Taylor Swift because Emily Mader is a big part of this podcast from time to time.
I will say I'm not a hater, but I will say I think her country music is better than her pop music.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. Your love of country music is, I think, speaks volumes for the depth of our friendship.
The depth or the death? I think I may have misheard you there.
No, the depth, because the fact that I even talk to you is astounding.
Now you say that, but you've got some love for some country music. So
do tell.
The Man in Black, Johnny Cash.
Yeah, but okay, so I don't mind country music. I can't stand stadium country music.
Okay, there you go.
I can't stand my beer, my dog, my truck, my boots, my jet. Oh wait, no, not my private jet. Sorry, that's bad for branding. I meant my tractor. Like I hate it. I hate it so much. Anyways, Taylor Swift, one of the biggest performing artists in the world right now. In fact, news just came out that the tour that she's on right now is in fact the biggest, craziest, like, I don't know exactly what the metric is, but it's the biggest world tour that's ever happened in the history of music.
Yeah, it's
most successful, insane. Sold out, crazy shows. And so it was announced a little while ago that Taylor Swift's concert or a cinematic version of her tour is coming to theaters. A small theatrical release. Not like every theater. It's not going to be this massive 4,000 theater release.
So it's just like her tour show filmed and then shown in a theater.
Yeah, just
probably
like
with a little bit of commentary thrown in there.
Yeah, maybe, right? And it was announced that it was announced a week ago, less than a week ago, that this was happening. And that it's coming to theaters in October. Like, just super quick. They're just like, hey.
Quick turnaround.
Had an idea. Gonna do it right now. And this has pissed a lot of studios off. Because there is sort of an understanding in the industry, sort of an unwritten rule, gentleman's handshake. That, yeah, we kind of, we let each other know far in advance when our movies are coming out and blah, 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 so that everyone has their equal, so that we can plan accordingly.
Yeah, we can plan who we want to compete with.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't want to screw you guys. We assume you don't want to screw us. And so let's work together.
Yeah.
And so AMC theaters, primarily AMC theaters in the States, kind of announcing this at the very last second. It's kind of like, it's just a little bit of a dick move in the grand scheme of things, in the way that the industry normally works. Just saying, hey, October 13th, get ready, Swifties. But this is, that's not the news story. The news story is some of the film release date ramifications that have come as a result of this. And it's really interesting that them announcing this so last minute has forced several films to abandon their release date that they planted their flag forever ago. But now they're looking at it going, well, shit. We don't want to compete with that. Even though it's not going to be, even though these are films that are going to be playing in theaters that aren't playing the Taylor Swift movie. They're like, we can't compete with that. And these are, some of them are smaller movies. Some of them are a big deal. Movies like What Happens Later, starring David Duchovny and Meg Ryan, is said, we're going to wait a month. Instead of coming out on October 13th, we're going to come out on November 3rd. We're going to wait almost a month. You guys do you. Another one, Ordinary Angels, has said, you know what? Screw that. Like, we don't want to be a part of this. We can't compete with you. So they've moved. The Exorcist Believer, which I get, you know what? A lot of people are going to say, oh, it's a horror film that came out 50 years after the original. Which is crazy. 50 years since The Exorcist. Gosh. However, it's got some of the same actors in it. So it's like, it's an official, this isn't just some like remake, whatever. This is like a true legacy sequel. Has said, no. It's just not going to happen. And Dumb Money. Dumb Money is a new big film that I know several people who are excited for and have said, no, we can't compete with you. We're not going to. You assholes.
You're not even a worldwide release, and we're like, nah, let's not.
Right? Like, yeah. Paul Dano, Shailene Woodley, Pete Davidson, Seth Rogen, Sebastian Stan. Like, Dumb Money is not just some nobody cares kind of film.
Yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Nick
It's
Offerman.
essentially like a movie about, so just like, like for people that don't know, it's a movie about the GameStop short squeeze investment debacle that happened just a couple years ago. So it's essentially like the movie Big Short, but the kind of smaller potatoes investors instead of bigwig ones.
Yeah. Friggin' Ordinary Angels that had to move. Hilary Swank. Like these are big name movies that have all just abandoned their release date. Carl, you hear this. What are your thoughts? A, do you think that these films are just being stupid and should have just held their ground and stuck with where they're supposed to be? Or do you think this is that Taylor Swift, this was a little bit of a dick move? Okay, it's not Taylor Swift's fault. This is the production. Taylor Swift probably had little to no control over when this came out. This is production companies and distribution and stuff like that. But do you think it was a dick move and these films did the only thing they could do, or should they have stuck their ground?
I mean, the two thoughts I have are, one, like, this isn't worldwide release. It's just like going to be, it won't be a handful of theaters across probably, like, I'd be shocked to see this is this even going to be released in Canadian theaters? There's
one theater in Toronto that's doing it for sure.
So like Toronto, like maybe Toronto, maybe Ottawa, like big city theaters. Like it's not going to end up in Old Sound.
Vancouver, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Winnipeg.
So like Dumb Money is going to be in like every theater across North America plus worldwide. So on one hand, I'm like, you're competing against somebody who's not even going all out. But then at the same time, it is Taylor Swift, right? Like or hate her music, she's to steal the line from Zoolander, she's so hot right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like it'd be like pitting like me training really, really hard to do the 100-meter dash and then going up against whoever the most recent gold medalist is for the 100-meter dash. Right? Like I'm in my prime, I'm ready to go, but I still have no shot in hell of winning.
Yeah.
Right? Like this Taylor Swift movie is kind of purposely putting itself in a bad position potentially financially to make out, but they're also not, like, in terms of the production of this thing, it probably didn't cost them a lot to make, so they don't need a lot of people to see it to make their money back and then some. But like in terms of like mass audiences seeing it, they're handicapping themselves, but they're still gonna do phenomenal.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these other films have to be in every theater in order to do well. This one doesn't. So it's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, moving on. Deadpool 3. God, I just need to see this movie.
Yeah.
Just so excited for this movie. Deadpool 3, we've been talking about Deadpool 3 for a while. And we have also been talking about all of the rumored and also confirmed characters showing up.
Which is substantial.
It's very substantial.
And apparently continues to grow.
Yeah. So a new report has come out from Scooper and insider Daniel Richman, who's like he's a well-known, reputable journalist in the industry.
He's the guy.
That actor Liv Schreiber, who some of you will know is Cotton Weary from the Scream films, but also Sabretooth from the should probably be forgotten X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. Will return as Sabretooth in Deadpool 3, and that it won't be a massive role, but is bigger than a cameo. Now, Liv Schreiber, a little bit of history on this. Liv Schreiber, back in 2017, commented saying, how much he would have loved to have played Sabretooth in Logan. But ultimately, scheduling and whatever, like they just couldn't make it work. And then, he says that he thinks ultimately they just went in a different direction with the story. He says, I think it's a terrific movie. I'm just very proud of Hugh and the way that he handled himself with that franchise and that character. It was a great experience to be involved with one of them and to get to work with them. I had mixed emotions when I heard he was going to retire. Now, that was back in 2017. In early 2023, earlier this year, Schreiber said, they didn't ask me. Someone was asking if Marvel Studios had ever asked him to come play Sabretooth. He said, they didn't ask me. No, I mean, I don't think he was a part of that story, I would have loved to bring Victor back anytime, anywhere, but he wasn't a part of that narrative. I wonder if I'm getting a little long in the tooth, so to speak, but probably not for Sabretooth.
Pun intended.
Now, does Liv Schreiber denying these reports or denying the fact that he may be coming back earlier this year mean that, no, he's not coming back? No. And it and for two reasons. One is because there's still, like, sometimes last minute additions, right? Like, if he made these comments in February and they're now only partway through shooting it and have halted because of the strikes, it's possible he made these comments in February and then come March, he got a call, right? Like, it's totally plausible. The other, I would like to point to Exhibit B, Andrew Garfield. We now live in a time and era where actors, especially in these big Star Wars, Marvel, DC properties, will lie through their saber teeth about appearing in a cameo or in any kind of a role because that's what it is. Everything's kept under tarps and red tape and, like, don't look, and it's going to be a surprise.
Yeah. Well, Exhibit B2 would be like Brad Pitt being in Deadpool 1. No, Deadpool 2. Sorry. He was in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Very briefly.
Very blink and you miss. But, like, nobody knew. And unless you're, like, really geeking out on that film, you probably just found out if you didn't know.
Yeah. Because you see his face for all of 2 seconds.
Not even. Like,
not even.
It's a blink and you miss it. It's less than a second.
So let's assume this is true. Just for the sake of argument, let's assume it's true. Let's assume Liv Schreiber is coming back as Sabretooth in Deadpool 3. I think this is excellent news. Listen, there's a lot of problems with X-Men Origins Wolverine. Ironically, Deadpool being a big part of that. Being a very big issue. Poor CGI, like, really questionably, like, why do his claws look cartoonish when they haven't up until this point in all the other films? Just so many questions, so many issues with that film.
Yeah.
Liv Schreiber is not one of them. Now, yes, there was, like, a weird continuity thing where it was like, well, this is a different Sabretooth than what we saw in the first X-Men. And the first X-Men, he was very animalistic and didn't really speak much. He just kind of grumbled and blah, blah, blah. So
had big weird eyebrows.
Yeah, like, he looked pretty comic accurate in the first X-Men.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't that interesting of a character. He was sort of likened to Bane in Batman and Robin. It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Right? And so even though it didn't fit with continuity, Liv Schreiber's Sabretooth was so much more interesting, and he did a really, really good job in that role. And so if this is true, assuming it is true, I think this is excellent news. I cannot wait. I think especially for Logan's last ride with Hugh Jackman, I think seeing some of the dynamic play out between him and his brother could be really interesting. Could be really, really interesting, and add a level of depth and groundedness in emotion and struggle and whatever that a film like this needs. Otherwise, it just becomes Thor: Love and Thunder, right? It can't just be an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours of goofs and gags. So I think this could be really, really, really excellent. And I kind of hope it's true. Carl, you hear this. What are your thoughts, first of all, on Liv Schreiber's portrayal of Sabretooth? And what do you think of the possibility that he's going to come back and be in Deadpool 3?
What is the possibility? Well, I mean, with all the rumors we got, I guess anything is possible. So that answers that. But I don't know. I think it'd be really cool. Yeah, like you're saying, and it would add a lot of interesting kind of social dynamics or kind of character development stuff for the character of Wolverine, and even Deadpool to a degree, because all three of them are part of the Weapon X program.
Yep.
As we've seen in X-Men Origins.
Yep.
Which, yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised to see more of those characters from the Weapon X Weapon X team show up. At
Blob
some capacity. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just call me Blob? No, I said Bub. So good. Yeah. No, I hope it's true. All right, moving on to our fourth topic. There's a franchise going on right now. A franchise that is weird to me, because I think this is a franchise that a lot of people are aware of, but I think in many ways it's also kind of gone under the radar and isn't as big as it seems like
as its protagonist.
Yeah. That was good. It's been a successful franchise. Like it's made money at every stop, but it just doesn't get a lot of word of mouth. And that being the Warner Brothers Monsterverse. Now, we've had 4 films in this Monsterverse so far, and 1 TV show, with 1 TV show and 1 film slated to come out. Those films being the 2014 Godzilla, the 2017 Kong Skull Island, the 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters, and the 2021 Godzilla vs. Kong. And then there was a TV show earlier this year, an animated Netflix show called Skull Island. That was part of the same thing. Now, next year we have a film coming out called Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. But coming out in just a jiffy here, like in 2 months, is the television show, the live-action Apple TV Plus show, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. And we've gotten our first trailer for it. Now, listen, I got to be honest, I've kind of slept on this franchise a little bit. I saw the first Godzilla. I have not seen any of the other ones so far. I never got around to Kong Skull Island, And then, you know me, if I haven't seen Kong Skull Island, then I'm not going to progress and start cherry picking because it just doesn't, that's not how I work. So anyways, this trailer's dropped and it's got some faces in it. Kurt Russell is in this show.
And
the very punchable Wyatt Russell. And I only say very punchable because last night Brienne and I watched the first 2 episodes of
he did
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
He's only very punchable because his character, he portrayed
because
his
character so well. Yeah, because he did so well. So just everyone wanted U.S. agent John Walker to just take a walk off a short pier.
What a dick.
What a dick. So I watched this trailer. And obviously, I mean, I didn't even know this show was coming, and I have very little anticipation for it because I'm not engulfed in this franchise. However, the one thing I will say is that watching this trailer made me kind of reconsider my approach to this franchise. Has made me kind of think to myself, maybe I have some catching up to do.
It is a very good franchise.
The
only thing out of it I haven't seen is the Netflix animated.
Right. Now, I'm not a kaiju, monsters, giant, that's not my thing. But I do think that it looks like they've taken it in a really interesting direction. And I love that in this trailer you see like at the the signs on the ground of the airport of like the Godzilla image and stuff like that. This is a world. This is a universe they've set up where everyone's aware that these things are out there.
Yeah.
And I think that creates a really interesting dynamic. So I think the trailer looks good. Again, I'm a little lost watching it because apparently I have a lot of catching up to do. But Carl, as the leading expert in the room on this franchise, what do you think of this trailer?
Well, I'm the only one in this room, so I am. I mean, I like this franchise. I like big, stompy robots, and I like kaiju, and I like, this is right up my...
You're a man of simple taste.
Simple tastes, yes. It looks interesting because I'm gonna side tangent here, and I'm gonna kind of half explain why this is interesting to me, and the other half will be kind of selling the franchise to you and anybody else who's slept on it for the same reasons that you may have, because you're not that big into the big monsters shows. The show, I would say, is more akin to like a good zombie film, and that the zombies aren't what make the show good or the movie good. It's the interaction of the characters, the humans that are still alive, and how they play off each other and fight that fear of survival and trying to coexist and stuff. This would be the same way. Like, the monsters are more of a catalyst to the story than the story itself. So Monarch is in this world is a global entity that monitors and tries to protect humanity from these monsters. And it's about the people. The movies are more about the people that are running the researchers and the people that work at these places than it is about the monsters themselves. But that being said, every movie's got the big monster fights to help push the action and the conflict. Right. So yeah, like the character development isn't really about Godzilla getting character development. It's more about the people trying to figure out why crap is happening. It's more like Godzilla is more like that's even better in kind of comparison. It's more like a natural disaster film, but the natural disaster are these kaiju.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that piques your interest more.
Yeah, I mean, it does. And I mean, like I said, I've seen the first Godzilla, and that's definitely consistent with It's consistent with my experience having watched it.
Yeah. So Monarch, this seems to be dive more into that Monarch organization, and I don't know what way, but the term Legacy of Monsters maybe dives into its past a bit more than what it has. So, I mean, I'm disappointed it's only on Apple TV. That's kind of a bummer because I don't have Apple TV. I'm not going to get to watch this. But yeah, it looks cool. And you should definitely check out the movies. They're really good.
Okay. Will do. And I will report back to you.
Okay.
All right. Final topic. So back to talking about the strikes. Very quickly here. Warner Brothers is obviously not the only studio that's being affected by these strikes, but it has come out that Warner Brothers can expect a $500 million earnings hit this year due to these strikes. And
is this projected or current?
It's projected.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's like almost 6 months of if we get to the end of the year, it'll be about a 6-month strike.
Yeah. And so, listen, if it gets to the end of the year, it's going to be higher than 500 million. This is based on the assumption that it's going to wrap up in the next month or so. $500 million is a lot of money, man. And I think a lot of people often get a little bit confused, or they're a little bit ignorant to how this type of thing works, right? They go, oh, it's Warner Brothers, right? Like look at all the budgets and the films that they're spending this year and blah, 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 and the money that's come in and so on and so on. $500 million, like they have $500 million, like they're going to be okay. 500 million, that's not how it works. Their films have investors, right? So even when Warner Brothers greenlights $150 million budget for a film, that's not Warner Brothers saying, hey, we have $150 million sitting here in our pocket. Take it and go. There are investors involved in films. Like, one of the things when the box office money comes in and Warner Brothers is looking at the money that the film has made, and they're paying the actors and they're paying the caterers and they're paying the camera operators and the grips and the gaffers and the producers, like, and everybody's getting paid. Paying back your loans, your investors with interest, because that's how investment works, is a part of that ticket. And a big part of it. And so $500 million is not a small hit. And as a result of this $500 million loss, Warner Brothers has started cutting some deals. And not like cutting deals as in, hey, let's cut a deal. Like suspending deals. Now, what kind of deals? So the way a lot of studios work is that they will have producers or directors and their production companies sort of like on a retainer, right? So even when they're not in the middle of a film shoot, the studio is still paying them so that they can keep their production teams paid and employed and blah, blah, blah. And it's sort of so that you can keep those people in your pocket, right? So obviously, an example of this would be Steven Spielberg has quite a deal with Universal, right? So deals like that, right? When you look at something and you go, I've never noticed, but every film that this person makes seems to be from this studio. Well, that's likely because they have a deal in place and they're on retainer. And the way that Steven Spielberg is able to keep all of his production teams, the way he's able to keep Amblin and all of them employed and paid even when they're not neck deep in a film shoot, is because Universal will be throwing them a bone, saying, hey, we like you. We want to keep you around and we want you to have your staff. And so here's your salary. Here's your dowry, so to speak. And so Warner Brothers has had to suspend some of those. One being, there's a couple names here that a lot of people aren't going to know. Greg Berlanti, Bill Lawrence, Mindy Kaling. These are maybe not names that you know because these are producers, not necessarily directors. And so, they're not going to sound familiar to you. But J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams and his production company, Bad Robot, has also been suspended. So, and it's important to note that suspension is not necessarily, suspension is the standard protocol in a situation like this. And suspension of these deals is not equivalent to termination of these deals. But it's still not a good situation. And it kind of, because now if these deals have to be suspended, then J.J. Abrams potentially is either going to have to start paying out of his own pocket to try to keep his staff on, or he's not going to be able to, or isn't going to. And the Bad Robot team will kind of disperse. And when things are back on track, now we're going to have these production companies where the deals aren't in place and the staff are no longer the staff are no longer employed because they've had to go start flipping burgers because nobody was paying them anymore, and all of this is sort of equaling a much bigger hill to climb when things get back on track. It's going to make it that much harder to get things back on track once a deal is put in place. So this is concerning to me. Carl, you hear this. You hear that these big studios, specifically in this instance, Warner Brothers, are having to cut deals. I got to stop saying cut deals. The human language is so stupid. Suspend deals that they have in place with some of their biggest production companies. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't care. It's life. Like they're like you used the example of J.J. Abrams' company. J.J. Abrams is gonna have, once things get back rolling, he's gonna have no problem either rehiring or finding new people to fill roles. It doesn't, like, life will go on. Warner Brothers is having trouble. It's a big, large corporation. 500 million is a lot. It's probably not a lot for them in the grand scheme of things, like in the large scope. Like, this hurts. Okay, we've got to trim the fat a bit, but we're not hurting. You know what I mean? Like they're hurt, but they're not dying.
No, right? I don't think
they're just doing some triage and getting ahead of the problem.
Yeah, and nobody's looking at this as detrimental or frightening as the pandemic was. Right, that was scary for a lot of studios and a lot of filmmakers and a lot of like, oh crap, right?
Yeah,
but. Yeah.
So I'm not, it doesn't concern me. I don't really care.
You're not worried about how it's going to affect your upcoming movies. Star Trek 4.
I mean, like
the Hot Wheels
movie. If a movie in a franchise, like the second or third movie in a franchise, get canceled and I never see that movie, oh well, that's happened before. I'll move on.
The Portal movie. Oh, I really want to see the Portal movie. I need to see live action Gladys. I need it. All right, cool.
Really need it.
That's the news. Thank you so much for that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and X, all listed down below, formerly known as Twitter. Check out our Patreon for as little sound like a rapper now. Lil. Just LIL. As little as $1 a month, you can support the show and get some kickbacks and perks and rewards for doing so. And check out our merch store.
Yeah, we got stuff for sale.
So lame. You just gotta reach into your inner energy and pull something out next time, man. You just gotta be ready. You're ready. Not now. Okay. No, not maybe now. No, your opportunity.
I'm just thinking of like how I will prep. Maybe like next time I'll have like the merch store open and I'll just like
we got your hats. We got your shirts.
I'll ad read, quote unquote, something that's for sale.
Yeah.
You could get your men's
unisex
t-shirt.
Polyester blend. Yeah.
It's yeah.